During the 23rd season of American Idol, the stage lights were lit up brightly, creating a golden glow that illuminated the classic set. As the top 8 contestants went through their preparations for the judges' song contest, the Dolby Theatre was filled with the buzz of excitement. One of them was a young lady named Mattie Pruitt, who was just 15 years old and was from Eagleville, Tennessee. Her voice had already garnered attention, and her heart carried the hopes and dreams of a little town with only one stoplight. Always Been You by Jessie Murph was the song that she was entrusted with performing tonight. Luke Bryan, the judge, selected this song in order to bring out the sass that the judges were looking for. This was more than just a performance for Mattie. It was an opportunity to demonstrate that she belonged in this group. During her childhood, Mattie was raised in a blended family consisting of 12 siblings in the rolling hills of Rutherford County. This was the beginning of her path to this moment. Her voice was a gift that she realized at an early age thanks to her ability to sing the national anthem at local events. Music was her safe haven. As a child, she was shy and would sometimes hide under tables in order to avoid performing, but her love for singing eventually triumphed over her concerns. She had already amassed over 132,000 followers on TikTok by the time she was 12 years old, thanks to her untrained talent and the endearing qualities that she possessed. Her parents, Justin and Eleonora, fostered her passion for music and witnessed their daughter's development from a shy young child into a formidable vocalist who was influenced by musicians such as Chris Stapleton and Jessie Murph, who were her musical influences. Mattie's heart was racing as she stepped the stage backstage. A high-stakes task was presented to her during the judges' song contest. Each of the judges, including Luke Bryan, Carrie Underwood, and Lionel Richie, had chosen a song for her, and she had to select one without being aware of who had chosen it initially. There were 3 songs that she could choose from: I Need You by LeAnn Rimes, Parachute by Chris Stapleton, and Always Been You by Jessie Murph. It was a difficult decision to make. I Need You had a secure feel about it, a timeless classic that she could shake with a soulful tone. The song Parachute was a perfect fit for her appreciation of Stapleton's gritty style. However, Always Been You spoke to her. It was daring and contemporary, and it demanded the sass that Luke Bryan had been constantly encouraging her to let loose. The song's emotional depth and adolescent heartbreak touched with her teenage soul, despite the fact that she was concerned about being compared to Murph, whose unmistakable rasp was similar to her own. She made the decision in the hopes of making it her own. Mattie came onto the platform while holding her microphone tightly in her hand. Their enthusiasm was like a tidal wave that pleased and worried her at the same time. The audience screamed excitedly. The fact that she wore a black dress with a simple denim jacket over it was a tribute to her Tennessee heritage. Her auburn hair was styled in free waves. Always Been You was a haunting melody that pulsed with love and rebellion, and the band immediately began playing the opening chords of the song. When Mattie was singing in the living room of her family's home, her siblings were cheering her on. She took a moment to close her eyes and ground herself in the memories of that moment. Her time had finally come. As she sang the first line, her voice was gentle yet steady, reflecting the sensitivity of a young woman who had experienced the sting of love. I've been running from my demons, chasing dreams I never knew. As the lyrics began to flow out, each note was imbued with a rawness that caused the audience to become silent. A narrative of heartache and self-discovery was woven via her raspy tone, which is sometimes compared to Murph's. Her tone took on a life of its own. All of the judges were enthralled and leaned forward. Luke Bryan, who had selected the song, enthusiastically shook his head in agreement, his eyes shining with joy. She was looking for the sass that she had encouraged Mattie to embrace, and Carrie Underwood, who was known for her vocal excellence, was watching with great attention. Mattie's voice reached a new height by the time the chorus arrived. It's always been you, tearing my heart in two. As she made her way across the stage, her self-assurance improved with each stride she took. The talk-singing portions, which are a characteristic of Murph's sound, were a risk for a young singer, but Mattie nailed them, infusing them with a mischievous edge that hinted at the sass that Luke wanted to hear. It was difficult for her to hit the high notes, but she did so with pinpoint accuracy, and her voice rang out as forceful and clear as ever. The cheers of the audience erupted like a wave, which helped her to ascend to a greater level. During the span of 2 minutes and 11 seconds, Mattie Pruitt was elevated from the status of a girl from a tiny town to that of a celebrity. Her family friend and mentor, the country musician Craig Campbell, was there backstage, and he smiled as he saw her perform. In spite of the fact that she had played the piano during her audition for Murph's How Could You, Campbell had always had faith in her. He had witnessed her when she performed at his Grindstone Cowboy coffee shop, where she had sold out performances, her voice filling the room with an enchantment that belied her age. Tonight, he was aware that she had made significant progress. Immediately following the conclusion of the performance, the judges provided their comments. Luke exclaimed with a gleam in his eye, "You did an excellent job, Matty. Even though we have heard that Jessie Murph thing in your voice, you do not need to be concerned about being compared to other people. With your voice, you were incredible. Continue to engage in that sassy behavior. We're taking baby steps in the sass department, but we want more," Carrie said with a smile that was warm but insistent about her agreement. "You have the ability to speak, now control the stage. You've got a texture and range that's special," Lionel Richie, who is known for being an encouraging person, said further. "Kid, keep shining brightly." The in-house mentor, Jelly Roll, participated in the conversation and complimented her on bringing the attitude that the song required. But that wasn't the end of the night. With the votes coming in, Mattie discovered that she was one of the 2 people in the bottom 2, along with Josh King. When Ryan Seacrest made the announcement that Luke and Lionel, the winners of the judges' song contest, would select a wildcard to join the top 7, the anxiety was obvious. Mattie's heart fell, but she maintained her composure and kept her gaze fixed on the panel of judges. As a sign of his unspoken support, Josh, who is known for his graciousness, gave her a slight nod. The decision to send Mattie to the top 7 was made by Luke and Lionel after a heated discussion between the 2 of them. Even while the audience was roaring, fans were divided on the internet. There were others who claimed that Josh was more deserving of the place, stating that Mattie's performance was subpar. Her youth was a promise of development, and others recognized her potential. The rescue was a bittersweet experience for Mattie. It was a lifeline for her that the judges had faith in her, as she was aware that she had taken risks. When she returned to Eagleville, her family watched with pride, and the words of her father Justin reverberated in her mind. Watching her grow into the young woman she is today, so devoted to her craft, has been one of the greatest blessings. Her performance of a duet with Brianna Nix on Carrie Underwood's Something in the Water later that evening was a highlight, despite the fact that Brianna's powerful voice occasionally overshadowed her performance. Nevertheless, Carrie's ecstatic praise, "That was really stunning." Mattie's position in the competition was reaffirmed by the statement, "I feel honored." When Mattie walked off the stage, she was aware of the cumulative effect of her voyage. She had carried the love of her community and the support of her family with her wherever she went, from local talent showcases to the spotlight of American Idol. The path that lay ahead was uncertain. She would eventually be eliminated after singing Remember Me from Coco and Lauren Elena's Those Kind of Women. But in that very moment, when she was singing Always Been You, Mattie Prut had already secured her position. She was more than just a contestant. She was a dreamer, a storyteller, and a voice that came from a place that was much further away than Eagleville. And even though her experience on Idol would come to an end, her tale was just getting started.